What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys another review. Today's review is going to be about a movie about survival and trying to survive in a deadly storm out in the middle of the ocean. And that movie is The Finest Hours, directed by Craig Gillespie, starring Chris Pine, Casey Affleck, and Holliday Grainger. Now, this movie is about the true story of 4 Coast Guard soldiers. One of them is Bernie Weber, played by Chris Pine. The movie takes place in the early 1950s, and it tells the story of this huge cargo ship in the Atlantic Ocean ends up splitting in half in a deadly, rainy, snowy type of storm. And these men are about to die. Something gets wrong with the engine. So they're scrambling looking for answers. And so back at home, the Coast Guard finds out this news, and so what they have to do is Chris Pine and 3 other men have to travel out into the Atlantic Ocean and save 30 plus men from dying in one of the most true, dangerous rescue missions in U.S. Coast Guard history. Now, this is a movie I have been anticipating from the start of the year. I really like Chris Pine. He's done a great job as Captain Kirk, and Casey Affleck too is really a young actor that's starting to grow. Now, usually when it comes to disaster movies involving ships in the past, we've had Titanic, probably the best ship disaster movie of all time. And then we have Poseidon, a movie that came out a couple years ago. That was kind of trash. Now we have this movie, The Finest Hours, and I can say, guys, that this is a pretty solid ship disaster movie. So let's talk about the positives and negatives of The Finest Hours. The first thing I liked about this movie is the acting. The acting was pretty solid in this movie. I was really invested in the characters. I thought Chris Pine did a great job in this movie. I thought he was likable, brave, charismatic, and charming, and he knows how to get the job done when it needs to be done. And I thought his character was the most investing. Like, you want to see this guy succeed and the rest of the crew succeed in what they're trying to do. And he did his job very well. Good job, Chris Pine, in this movie. But my favorite character in this entire movie was Casey Affleck's character. He was amazing in this movie. His character is the captain of the ship that's stuck in the middle of the ocean, and I was really intrigued by his character. There is one specific scene in this movie which I won't completely spoil, but where his character is given a speech out in the middle of the storm about the situation that they're in. Just the words that he presents in this movie, I'm just watching him and I'm like, hell yeah, dude, I'm motivated. Let's get the job done. Man, did I love that scene, and Casey Affleck blew me away in this movie. And then I think this is the first acted performance from this woman, and that's Chris Pine's love interest, Holly Grainger, as Miriam. She was also good in this movie. I had no problems with the acting in this movie. Overall, was just great, and also good casting. Another thing I loved about this movie is the score by Carter Burwell. Oh my god, the score was amazing. And I'm talking about the sequences where out in the middle of the ocean in the storm, just the music's so intense, loud, and just so breathtaking to listen to. It put me on the edge of my seat. That's how good a score should be. Also, some of the camera shots and the cinematography just blew me away. The scenes where Chris Pine and them are out in the ocean, the huge waves, the ship, the storm, just the scope of this movie, you feel like it's full circle. It just builds the intensity in these terrible and scary situations that these guys are in. Like, you feel like you're there with them, and that's what I enjoyed. So those are the things I liked about this movie, guys. Now let's talk about the things that I didn't like about this movie. The first flaw I had is the romance between Chris Pine and Holly Grainger. I felt like this movie focused a good amount of times on their romance rather than trying to focus more on the missions out in the sea. To be honest, guys, it was mediocre. What I'm trying to say is less kissy-kissy and more out in the sea. Also, I felt like the ending, the last 20 minutes of this movie, was very predictable and very cliched. Like, at most points at the end, I was just pointing like, oh, I know this was going to happen. That's definitely going to happen. Oh, that happened. No surprise. That doesn't mean I didn't like what happened. It's just, I've seen it many times before in many other disaster movies. I like certain movies where I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. Unfortunately, this movie wasn't that. Overall, guys, The Finest Hours is a solid disaster, true story, courageous type of movie with great acting, great shots, great cinematography, and a great message behind it, which means anything is possible if you put your mind to it. On my rating scale, guys, I'm going to give The Finest Hours a 3 out of 5 for an okay, enjoyable movie to watch in the theater, but not miraculous, because of the overusage of the romance and the predictable ending. Okay guys, so that is my review for The Finest Hours. If you guys are going to see it and whatever you thought of it, let me know down below. If you guys like this video, be sure to give it a like. Be sure to subscribe below for more content. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!